Hello everyone and welcome to another SolidCat presentation. Today I will be focusing on CTC's model dashboard found within the CTC BIM project suite. My name is Patrick Siemek from SolidCat. I am a technical consultant on the AECO team and today I'll be guiding you through today's presentation. So what is the current problem that people have? Revit users struggle to identify project metrics such as having too many in-place families, line style count, total warnings, and many more due to several reasons. Lack of visibility. In Revit, project metrics are scattered throughout the project, making it challenging for users to have a clear overview of their values. They might not even be aware of all the instances in the model. Limited reporting tools. Revit lacks built-in tools for comprehensive error reporting related to project metrics like in-place families, line style count, and many more. Manual inspection. Identifying project metrics typically involves manual inspection, which can be time-consuming and prone to human error. Users must inspect the model for differences, making it difficult to catch every instance. No warning system. Revit doesn't provide real-time warnings or notifications about the project metrics, their impact on performance, or compliance with best practices. Users might not be alerted until issues have already caused problems. Limited documentation. In many cases, Revit projects lack proper documentation and standards related to project metrics, making it even harder to enforce consistency and identify errors. Growing impact. Not following project standards, improper modeling workflows, an example of this would be excess use of in-place families, are a few items that can lead to performance issues, increased file sizes, and longer project load times. However, these issues often accumulate gradually and may not be immediately noticeable. To address these challenges, Revit users may need to employ a combination of manual checks, custom scripts, and third-party tools to efficiently identify and rectify errors related to project metrics like the overuse of in-place families. Additionally, implementing best practices and standards for family usage can help prevent such issues from arising in the first place. A solution to these challenges are CTC's Model Dashboard tool. So what is the Model Dashboard? The CTC Model Dashboard is an analytical tool designed to populate custom parameters within a Revit model with specific values. Additionally, it offers an optional feature where users can include a title block family capable of reading and presenting the collected values. To utilize this tool, users need to execute the import function, place a title block on a sheet, and then save or synchronize to the central model. The gathered data is then stored within the parameters, enabling the creation of informative graphical representations illustrating key performance metrics for Revit models' health. So in this example here, I have a Revit project open. So this is my title page. Again, it's a sheet already on top with a couple of my different views. As we see here, it is the new sample models in Revit 2024. But along with this view, as we can see here, at the bottom, we have the CTC Model Dashboard title block. Let me just zoom here for a little bit. So from here, we can see already a bunch of different dials that are in place. Here we have some overall model health, unplaced families, CAD imports, many different parameters here that are to be calculated and kind of showing the values once we synchronize or save the models. Below, we also have the ranges. So you do have the ability to customize your ranges. What is your low, medium, or high? Everyone will have different ranges depending on what their specific project methods are, and you do have the ability to kind of modify them as you move along. So if I were just to synchronize or save this file, we'll start to see these gears actually start to dial up. So let me just go and synchronize this file here. And after a couple seconds, as we synchronize the files, we'll start to see the gears shifting towards the different values that are then calculated. So as the synchronization is going inside of the background, it can be done also just saving the projects or synchronizing. Once that is all complete, now we can see the dials start to change. So if I were to zoom into one of my locations here, I'm going to go to the unplaced families. Here's my unplaced families. We have a value of 81. We got the dial kind of in the green section. Then we got kind of the yellowish area and then the red. If we were to take a look at the different values that are, say, the low, medium, or high, I'm going to zoom up from here a little bit and go to my ranges. They're the unplaced values options. So we got low, medium, high, 300 to 500 to 1,000, giving us the outcome as we have in the dial at the top. So once a user synchronizes their project, they can easily visualize any of the issues that may arise within the projects. From here, you're going to have all the different types of dials that have been placed from the parameters within the model health dashboard title block, along with the ranges that have been preset. This gives the users an easy visual representation of any issues that may be currently within the projects and then looking at them to be solved. Configure the model dashboard. So how can we get the model dashboard within our projects? So from here, you could always add the model dashboard to your current projects or to your project templates. So I'm just going to start by opening a out-of-the-box Revit template. From here, I'm also going to show within my project browser. So the model dashboard, it is a tool that you'll see within the BIM project suite. But once you do access it, it does load in a family. So I'm just going to go into my annotation symbols here in my project browser. And where we're going to find the model dashboard is once you download the BIM project suite from CTC, underneath the CTC productivity tab, we're going to see now we have the model dashboard tool. All we got to do is select the tool. So as I select it from here, it will open up a dialog box asking me to load in the family. So it is a title block family with a lot of shared parameters within it. So all we're going to want to do from here as we open up the tool is select the load button. Title block will be inserted into your project. We're going to click OK. And as we look now inside of my project browser, there is the new family, the CTC MD dashboard sheet. So if I were to create a new sheet, and I'm going to use that model dashboard, I'm going to select OK. From here, we now have it automatically inserted. So what you could do with this specific view, since it is a sheet, you can set your view, or if you already have a starting page for it, I could set my sheet already here to be my starting view, give it a more appropriate name. This could be my starting view, and then the next time the user opens up the project, they will have this information. Customize the model dashboard. So if we take a little bit of a deeper look inside of the model dashboard, we're going to see that it is very customizable. It is a piece of content, a Revit piece of content that, again, you could customize it to however you want it to be. This is just the default settings and setup that it was created already, but again, it is a piece of Revit content. You can modify the family as needed. So if I were to take the family itself first, so selecting the model dashboard, it is a title block family. So as I select the title block family, just going to select edit family at the top, and it's going to open up my sheet family editor. From here, you can go do whatever you want. You can start manipulating how you want the placement or what are the project metrics that you really want to focus on within your projects. These are just families. If I were to just select one of the dials, it is a separate family with a lot of embedded shared parameters to have these proper visualizations, but also calculated values. So if we were to take a deeper look inside of even one of these families, so if I select the dial, the unplaced family's dial is actually the same type of family as we see in the ranges. It's the same family, just with some instance parameters. So the one here at the top, as it's being selected, we do have some properties here that it has the dial number, which you could check on and off. Do you have the dial option on or off? And then as mentioned, it is a range. So it's still using all the same kind of parameters, and it's just using instance parameters to visually change things how you want them to be. So very customizable. You could add and move them around as needed. But if I were to go even further into the family itself, so if I were to select one of the dials, again, it's a piece of Revit content. Customize it to however you like it to be. Selecting the dial itself, editing now this specific family. All we have here is just a bunch of different labels here and some graphics. So from the top, as I select the label here, all just calling out is the name. So you do have a parameter as I jump into here. What is that dial label? So many different parameters and labels here to kind of control the visualization. You got a second name at the bottom. You got labels here for the low, medium, high, and then the shared parameters that get associated with it. And then also the graphical feature in the background. Here we just have a dial going from green to kind of a yellowish to a red. Play around with this. Customize it to what you want it to be. Have it as a bar. Have it like maybe more of a car gear or speedometer. So very customizable to suit what you like, but also not only the visual styles of the dial itself, but also the sheet. Many different parameters here that can be used. You can organize it in whatever way you want that will suit your workflow. Model dashboard requirements. So there are a few model dashboard requirements that should be followed and not changed. First of all, do not change the title block family. So the name of the title block that we have, CTC MD dashboard, do not change that name. Leave it as is. If you start changing the sheet name and the family name, it will not work. So that's definitely one of the requirements that we want to kind of focus on to not to change. Another one is within the actual title block family itself are the shared parameters. So here are just a few of the shared parameters that are being shown graphically onto the sheet. But if you did want more, there are a lot more. There's 40 plus parameters that can be tracked and then visually shown on your sheet. So if you take a look at that and go into the parameters here, you'll see we have a large list of different parameters. So inside of the data section, here is the list of all the different parameter types that can be tracked. We have from CAD import count, CAD link count, design options, fill pattern count. So many different parameters here that are not on the current title block that I have in the background placed already, but you do have the ability to actually embed it inside of those. The biggest thing about these shared parameters you have here, do not rename them. If you rename them, they will break. You could remove them if you want, if that's one of the project metrics that you are not following, but I would suggest leaving them in. Just don't place it inside of your title block family and just leave it as is. If you do need to come back and maybe just because you deleted one by accident, you could just reload the title block family and kind of grab the parameters from the other title block family that you have reloaded. So another big one there is do not rename the different parameters here that are specifically calculating the values. What you can rename though, if I go a little bit further down, is on the other section. These are just the ranges, the low, medium, and high ranges. These you can modify to the naming conventions to kind of suit maybe the standards that you want. And also, these are where the areas where you could change the actual values of what the ranges you want it to be. So as you do open up the family, here we can see the different ranges. If I were to go look at maybe dimensions, if I look at the dimension count, I can then specify one of the values that I feel the project metrics that my company should be following. So I could start changing these. Maybe the high could be to 100, the medium to 50, and the low to 25. So as you do start changing some of these values here, as I click OK, it'll start updating them within the title block, reload them back into your project, and now as you synchronize your model, your new project metrics and your values will then calculate based off of that dial. So in conclusion, the model dashboard allows users to easily gather and identify useful project metrics like open and save times, total warnings, file sizes, and many more. There are over 40 plus custom parameters that can display project metrics. It can help you spot problems early on before they develop into major issues, and the provided title block can be used as is or customized to suit your needs. So once again, my name is Patrick Siemek from SolidCat. I am a technical consultant on the AECO team. Feel free to reach out to me with any other kind of questions or comments you may have in regards to the model dashboard. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching this presentation. Thank you.